got a girl, Brett.
Yeah.
She go to better.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, old veteran Phillip Rivers and the Los Angeles Chargers do battle with Big Ben.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's Desmond King. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score. Give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
Rivers now, and able to find Green. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
The numbers a week ago from Melvin Gordon. 22 carries, 90 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now
Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Oh, he's got some breathing room. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
When big runs occur, sometimes there's a sense that things were pretty easy, and that one carried them down inside the 10. But getting into the end zone now, that won't be easy at all because you're going to face different defenses and not as much real estate to work with. Will they be able to run it, or will they have to throw it in order to try and score?
The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. He was able to topple the 200-yard mark and a rushing touchdown for good measure.
And what I found surprising, all those yards he accumulated, only found the end zone one time.
Just once.
That doesn't even seem fair, does it?
But still, the 200-yard mark, something he can always carry in his back pocket. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. Here's Roethlisberger. And it's caught. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal. Fourth down. Here's Roethlisberger. And my goodness, this is incomplete. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on the field.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, Ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
There goes Melvin Gordon. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. And all the way down to the 26. A big play there by Gordon. 71 yards. What a big run there to get out from the shadow of their own end zone. The defense is probably thinking, hey, let's pin them deep. Not the case.
You're exactly right. When I played, we used to have a defensive coordinator in these situations who would call the defense and tag onto it, get a safety, push them back. And sometimes you overcommit on defense, and it worked against them in this play. Offense worked it out very, very well.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. They control the clock, they control the ball.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Bud Dupree in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
We're talking about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Well, the drive started the shadow of their own goalpost all the way back at the 2. Pretty nice job of getting downfield and at least getting 3.
Agreed on that one. A real nice job because really their goal was to get out of the shadows of those goalposts to give themselves a little bit of room to help out their defense. Instead, they got 3 points out of it.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap.
And that's caught inside the 30. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, 71 yards. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well-organized, well-coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
Throwing Rivers. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. A first update now out of Jacksonville. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Getting the sense Charles are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down.
But he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
The Steelers picking up 15 yards there on a first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
Roethlisberger will hand to Counter. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Counter. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. And that is going to be incomplete. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2. If they get into a 3rd situation.
And now he's taken down. And Rivers in the end zone. Down to the ground he goes. That results in a safety and 2 points. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They run with Counter. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now it's Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. and he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now a pitch out to Williams. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Inside the red zone, and that means don't come away from there with anything less than 3 points, but everyone's thinking about 6. They're trying to get to the end zone. They decide to run a toss. Big people up front being mobile and moving, and a running back trying to follow behind them to find yardage, and that's exactly what he did.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Damian Williams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Boswell good with the extra point. And the lead now stands at 13. Boswell on now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. The ball comes out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Ready. Black 11. Hey, hot.
Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt in there to get him. And that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game. And now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Twisting away. 31 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10. It's Connor as they stay on the ground. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Still first down.
So at 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That good for 22 and a first down.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. Now it's counter. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
But he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now Roethlisberger to throw, and he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at the 20. A first down throw here for Rivers. And he's got his tight end complete. It's Green. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. On play action, Rivers. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. Over the middle, he's got Tyrell Williams. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They start with a give to Connor. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really nice gain of 25 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son, and then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But
and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Damian Williams with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Charger offense making their way back out there. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. On second down, they'll run with Gordon. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it. Rest of the game. And that does get in your mind a little bit. And sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tackles.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know the rule is first guy hold up the runner. Everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Doesn't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter. That one goes for 24 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down. Roethlisberger will throw. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. If you get careless with the football, look out.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Chargers getting set to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped. Tyson Alualu in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. Now Damian Williams to return it. Uses the spin. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On second down, Williams. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Denzel Perryman there to bring him down.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Now Ben going to give it to Williams. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game for the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. And the third down pass falls incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuck that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And incomplete here on 3rd down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger heading back out there. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the 3rd quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really, that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off. let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with the recipe of the ground game.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball is not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
Roethlisberger going to give to Williams on the draw. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And the Steelers on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 8. Play action. It's Roethlisberger. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Set! 80! 80 high!
On 1st and 10, Rivers. Benjamin with it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line.
Set! Guys, set! Green 80!
Rivers now to throw on 1st down. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. The 30. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. And remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. So out come the Chargers. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. T.J. Watt in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
Set! Green 80!
Rivers from his own end zone on 3rd down. And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. And this defense continues to dominate. How about 2 safeties in one game here?
You don't even put that on your goal sheet. This is something that results when you're playing really well on defense and the offense has nowhere to go with the football. Dominating performance.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, And you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Here's Connor. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Right back to him on first down. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game. So he's really made his presence felt in this one.
Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Tyson Alualu in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Second down, Rivers. And that is incomplete here. Keenan Allen, the intended target, and it's third down.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys first.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you. Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Now carry number 20 of the game. Here's Williams. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Here's Roethlisberger. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, 3rd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he finds McDonald. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one, because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Rivers. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. A gain of 4 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. To throw, Rivers. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
And now out come the Steelers. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food, because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness,
and now nothing but green ahead of him. 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Damian Williams, 84 yards. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline, because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Rivers. Green's got it over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Caught left side, Williams. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And he's brought down after a good gain. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. On the toss, here's Williams. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Toss play, Connor, and some room to work. Finding room inside the 40. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Now a toss. This is Connor. Able to spin free. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
4 down.
They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. And it is incomplete. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Charger defense stands tall, and they get the football back. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed, it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. He has really been buoyed here by a strong running attack. They've been great on the ground.
And have enjoyed the entire process because oftentimes when you're running the football well, that's much more of a team effort. Everyone has to come together to make it work. Offensive line, wide receivers, the tight ends when they're on the field, maybe an extra running back leading. It is a really nice thing to see, a team type of thing. And guess what? The quarterback, he can get out of the locker room a whole lot faster after this game. The interviews are going to go to the running back.
Yeah, now we hit the home stretch here in the fourth with their lead. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll get it down deep into Los Angeles territory. A big play. Smith-Schuster on the throw from Big Ben. 51 yards. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And they'll run it here. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Time for a break. This one all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Roethlisberger going to throw it. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Extra point put through by Boswell, and that will extend this big lead. Boswell on now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Rivers on 1st down. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Rivers now. Gets it to Gordon. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On 3rd down, Rivers throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping them from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Throwing Rivers. On the right side, caught by Green. And, oh, this is going to depend on forward progress. But they're saying no, he didn't get there. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Roethlisberger with a give. It's Williams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The Pro Bowl corner, Jason Verrett, on the tackle. Oh, Roethlisberger going to throw. Looking for the end zone. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up. 4
touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
Look in the mirror, how could you face that? Mask on, don't even know where my face at. Plenty don't even know where waste at. All these in the room, how could you waste that? Huh? Why would you chase that? It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. No matter what, I'ma stay black. It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. Need more jewelry. What I tell myself as I'm writing my eulogy. Ask the mirror, how you put up with this foolery? In reply, how you put up with this song and dance, all this buffoonery. Long romance, death, what it do to me? Yamagini dream was a nightmare. He was dancing with the devil for his life, yeah. We all on the dance floor. Girl, come with a dance. Puerto Rican in the breathing heavy. Little had my looking daddy. Couldn't tell him nothing cause we lost him already. Cozy boy with his spaghetti. What the money and fame, the price come heavy.
The Beast is back.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Throwing on first down is Carr. And his first look is incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. That'll bring up second down. Well, you got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy. All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on. When you
looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, you know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run. And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want, but I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Steelers have taken a first quarter lead. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know the receivers love to say, if we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now Carr. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And I think the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Steelers.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Wide open receiver complete. A good pickup there at 22. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Roethlisberger keeps it, and he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. He hit him earlier in this first quarter with his arm. Now he does it with his legs.
Right now, he's one of those stat stuffers that you see on the basketball court. You know, the guy with points, rebounds, assists, steals. One with the arm, one with the legs. Let's see if he can continue this pace.
And sending out the reminder that, yeah, look, I'm known for having an arm, but I can do it with the legs on occasion when I need to. Switzer now to return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense.
Lynch fighting, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games. Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. 2 first-quarter touchdown passes now for Ben Roethlisberger. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Switzer now to return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about what the playoffs were to be.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carry from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight end has to stay in. If you use a fullback, keep him in. Make sure you have extra people to try and keep your quarterback upright. Didn't work on that play. I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. On 3rd and long, it's Carr. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very...
This is caught inside the 15. And he'll be down deep into Oakland territory. A gain of 39 that time.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They come out here in the eye. Now Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. As his guys are in for 6. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
Brandon, we're not even out of the first quarter yet. And that's his 3rd receiving touchdown of the game. Tremendous job. And I think this might come under the heading of when someone has the hot hand, you've got to keep going back to them.
And on the defensive side, they better figure something out quickly.
Yeah, I think that no matter what, you've got to do something to slow him down. I don't care if it's double or triple coverage. Make someone else emerge because right now he's absolutely shredding them.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Carr gives to Lynch on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play calling, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy's...
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Bud Dupree in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
Now a handoff. Here's Williams. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. They'll hand it off now. Williams stops shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's...
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. What is going on here? 4 first-quarter touchdowns. Unbelievable. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. Boswell good with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Switzer now to return. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. Now you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
They've got a 2nd down and 5 here to start things out. Now they'll throw with Carr. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Carr. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the...
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. Give him 30 yards there.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that, but a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tack.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Damian Williams, his 4th touchdown on the year. And this Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again, we get a look at Amari Cooper as he heads back out there now. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get in the ball. We'll see if they can do it.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he loses the football a second time. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. but I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. In for the score. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Marshawn Lynch and the Raider offense heading back out there. And ball security has been a big issue. You see the numbers there. He's fumbled twice already.
And whenever we talk about ball security, it's not simply how you're holding the ball when you run it. It's all the other things that you do. Is it in the proper arm, meaning the sideline is protecting you? Are you dipping a shoulder to protect the ball as well? And obviously, the 4 points of pressure to make sure it's tucked firmly against your body so people can't pop it out. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, Lynch. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
On first down, Carr. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And now it's second down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Throwing his car on third down. He finds Roberts complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down. Carr now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Now Carr. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
First down, the run with Lynch. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
They try the 50-yarder and miss it, and now this offense has it 1st and 10 at the 40. They begin the drive with Williams. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That good for 22 and a first down. Here we go. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, You think you got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
And he'll go down at the 28. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game. Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit. Even though I'm not rooting for either team, that was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I'm guarantee you it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he floated one out there incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd down. That's counter. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And Boswell's kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Marshawn Lynch heading back out into the huddle. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. Front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He completes it to Bryant. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him, and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Carr now to throw. Bryant with a catch right side. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the scissor. He just had no stake.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, you play like that, you at least expect a first down there, just 1 yard. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Carr now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Again, it's Carr. Caught by Nelson left side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This one from 46 yards out. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for him now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger going up top. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. Williams to return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. On second down, here's Roethlisberger. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Trying to lay one up deep. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play. Smith-Schuster on the throw from Big Ben. 45 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sit through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, Yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Carr to throw on second down. Over the middle, Cooper with it. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Raiders on third down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road
true.
to be fairly clear
by
the time we have to leave the booth.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Now it's Roethlisberger. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Stephon Tuitt came out of Notre Dame as another one of those really tall defensive ends, and you just wonder, would they be able to have the leverage to bend and make plays? I think he just gave us an answer at that tackle.
And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And complete right side to Cook. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost...
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Justin Hunter, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Marshawn Lynch and the Raider offense heading back out there. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there'll be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end,
Still second down.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Following the penalty, Lynch. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. Give him 5 yards on the run there, but it'll leave him with a definite 3rd and long on the horizon.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
That's pulled in at the 32. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And the Steelers set to take the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now Roethlisberger. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times, trying to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got the step on him. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
Big Ben going to take it himself. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger taking it in. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And
I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that. But you know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
On 3rd down, Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
This has kind of been the story all night long, hasn't it? An inability to really get much done on 3rd downs, and it's costing them.
Here now, Johnny Townsend. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Taken from just outside the 30. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. And incomplete. Coverage there by Dexter McDonald.
Now the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
Roethlisberger now to throw on 3rd down. He's going to that's caught inside the 20. A big play. Smith-Schuster on the throw from Big Ben. And even 40 yards.
That has to be frustrating for defenders. 3rd down, they take a shot way downfield. There is good coverage, yet they still come down with the football and pick up.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on. Boswell good with the extra point.
Well, this game is definitely over, but...
Back now in the East Bay, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Switzer now to return. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 22. And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big gain.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A Raider first down as Carr finds Cooper.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's Carr. And Cook has it left side. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good record. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Here we go.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
The busy night continues for Williams. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up. Now Roethlisberger, open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way, it worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And his throw here's incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target, and it's 3rd and short.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talked about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Vance McDonald with touchdown number 8 on the year. And this Steelers offense is running away with this one.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No. I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point put through by Boswell, and that will extend this big lead. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Switzer now to return. Shoves him away. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
On the draw, Carr leads to Washington. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit. They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Williams. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it. Somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On second down, here's Carr. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that at just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment.
And that's caught inside the 35. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. Out left side here to Bryant. And down he'll go at the 25. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have the big cushion here in the final stages of this one. I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel. No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Yeah, they did it very convincingly, and now the final moments of this one. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And incomplete here. So that will leave them with 16 on the clock. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Here's Roethlisberger. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his...
And look at this. It's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended...
Okay.